The following program contains mature language and spoilers. Listener discretion advised.
Introducing the world's greatest superheroes. Superman, the Man of Steel. And for 1976, the Fantastic Four, the Torch, faster than the speed of light. The Thing, Ben Grimm, Man of Granite. Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Girl both have the powers of invisibility. The Fantastic Four, fighting for truth and honor.
Face front, true believers. Stan Lee presents Diabolu Frank, Illegal Machine, and Mr. Fixit.
So do we want to go in chronological? So we want to talk Superman next? Or you want to wrap up the Marvel stuff?
No, let's go with Superman. I think I like chronological, actually.
Okay.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Ready?
Let's do it.
The most powerful being on planet Earth.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it.
Now, as planned, I'll destroy you.
Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Make a move, Big Blue. Your choices, your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
So then Superman comes out, a movie that I have much maligned. I was kind of shitting on. I didn't think it was going to make a lot of money. It had some weird, like, trending news shit around it that probably wasn't going to bode well for it. I didn't like the way the actor looked in any of it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then it came out, and in spite of a lot of, like, wannabe bad press and some, like, wannabe Rotten Tomato shenanigans and some wannabe like Facebook uproar and X uproar, the movie did fucking great and actually like beat expectations for its opening weekend. Like I remember like they already like had penciled in with the money it was going to make its opening weekend, and then they like had to immediately erase it based off of actual numbers coming in, which is always a good sign. So anyway, what order do we want to talk about this one? You want to go same order? You want me to talk about it? You want Mr. Fixit to talk about it? We can talk about it. I also saw this one more recently than you all, so I don't know what you want me to do.
Wait, you saw Superman more recently than us? It came out like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's not that.
Yeah, I saw it like 24 hours ago.
Fair. Okay. Let's start with Mr. Fixit.
Okay. I enjoyed I'm not a big DC guy. That's more you, Frank. I did enjoy the Superman. I found it odd that he spent about a good half of the movie getting his ass beat. I wasn't so used to Superman just getting his ass handed into him over and over and over. He seemed a little neurotic sometimes. Like he wasn't very stoic to me. I kind of figured James Gunn was going to do something like that with him. Luther was a little psycho, kind of chewed up the scenery a little bit for me. I got so annoyed with what was the name of the dog?
Crypto.
Yeah, that dog got him by the nose pretty fast.
Crypto's a very fine line because there are the people who Crypto made the movie for and the people who the movie was drugged down by Crypto. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of gray area. You're either in one camp or the other, it seems like.
And when you say Lex, when you say Lex chewed the scenery, you don't mean like Jesse Eisenberg chewed the scenery though, right?
No.
You don't like it's not that level for you. Okay.
Dude, he shoots a guy with a 357, blows his head off in front of everybody. And I was just like, okay, I don't get Lex anymore. Like, is he he'll kill anybody? It just seems odd where he wants to be a savior, but he'll kill people left and right to be the savior. And then I kind of knew Bizarro was gonna pop up. I just when they were like, oh, it's Ultraman, I'm like, wait, but he covered in a suit. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fucking a clone or it's gonna be something like that.
Okay, you realize you're answering your own criticisms from earlier in your sentences, by the way. Like why Superman kept getting his ass beat?
Oh yeah, but
because it was getting his ass beat by Superman.
Even in the first one when he fought the fucking General Zod and them, he didn't take beatings like this. Like he was bleeding everywhere. He's just getting his ass beat. He gets beat by the clone. I'm assuming what was that interdimensional or what is it?
Solid pocket universe.
Star-looking creature.
Oh, you're talking about the fifth dimensional creature or the other dimensional creature that the Justice Gang fought.
Like he didn't even want to fight. I mean, I did enjoy the movie. I thought it was was just different, which caught me off guard. But again, it's James Gunn, so I kind of expected it to be different. It felt a little Guardian-ish at some time. Now I did appreciate, like, he didn't fucking whip out with I joked about it. I can't think that. I'm so tired. Like 60s music. Like I really expected, like, rock tunes to be popping in and out of the movie. Like Guy Gardner comes in during some fucking song by some random band that no one remembers anymore.
Dropkick Murphys or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I enjoyed it. I really did like the Guy Gardner part. I thought that was pretty funny. I figured you were gonna enjoy that part, especially when he's flipping off people, knocking over tanks and shit. I did particularly care for Hawkgirl. I thought she was kind of boring. Mr. Terrific was all right. I mean, I did enjoy the weird, like, I know he said he was gonna go like dip into the weirdness of Superman, and I kind of did like that. Like whenever they go to I assumed it was the Bleed. Whenever they went in where they had the prison and they had all these prison cells, like fucking the glass cells, and you have some kind of weird lake of fucking Tron energy and shit, and they're swimming in it, and it's all falling into a black hole. And now my question is, they showed that white creature that was transporting. Was that a white Martian?
I don't think so. That was just some weird other dimensional creature. Because I
really thought that was going to be like fucking Martian Manhunter or some shit like that.
Oh god, I'm thankful that didn't happen. I'm deeply thankful that didn't happen.
I really thought that for a minute when I was watching. I was like, when I saw that creature, I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna be Martian Manhunter, and he's gonna have, like, Lex is such a badass. He has him under some kind of fucking like leash, and he's gonna have one. Maybe he's the one that's gonna free Superman. And then they showed that fucking Metamorphos or whatever, and I was just like, okay, well, that's okay.
Metamorpho.
So, but for the most part, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was just a little different than what I assumed. My fear was kind of like they were saying, oh, if this movie doesn't hit, he doesn't get to do all his other stuff. Like, this movie has to hit. And my theater was pretty packed when we went to go see it. I was happy about that. But yeah, I didn't see people like get up, like when the movie was over. People weren't like pumped. It was just like, oh, good, and then we just walked out.
And not worth waiting for that stinger for sure.
Yeah,
big thumbs down on the stingers. If we're gonna rank the stingers of all these movies,
that was so weak. Where the building is off or crooked or whatever. I just no.
Well, somebody was saying that was a reference to the Batman Lego movie. Is that a thing that you recognize?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that. You, Mac?
Dude, I think I slept through that movie like 7 years ago. I don't know.
No, I think what do you think of Superman?
Oh, I thought you were talking about whether or not I recognize the thing. Well, first of all, I'm going to tell Mr. Fixit, he sent us a text that says Superman's a fucking great movie. So I was kind of
oh, no, it was.
A little disappointed. I'm a little disappointed by your well, I think you said good. Man, I think you said good.
Well, I guess because I've had time to watch Fantastic Four, and I was kind of like,
all right, okay, save it for 10 minutes from now.
Maybe it wasn't as great. I was really surprised for what it was. I really thought it, because I just felt like he was going to do like, I don't know, I just kept picturing like, Crypto was the thing that kept freaking me out. I'm like, oh, he's going to have the dog, and it's going to be weird, and
Yeah, but they answered that. They answered that. He was dog sitting. It's not his dog. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems all these criticisms they answered in these movies. So they answered in. Okay, let me run down. Here are my list. Okay. This is like the first 10 minutes into the movie, I say, okay, I apologize. This dude looks great as Superman. They picked the shittiest views of this guy for these trailers. This is James Gunn's fault that people were shitting on this guy, because I think when he's standing around in the costume, he looks like fucking Superman. But the weird ass like third person flying angles they picked are all, and they were weird in the movie too. What the hell were they doing picking those for the trailers? I don't know what the hell they were doing. But this dude looks awesome. The scene where Lois is interviewing Superman is fucking fantastic. That's the shit I want from these movies. The Justice Gang was funny. We got our classic James Gunn kaiju that popped up. I think the underwear on the costume looks great, and I would have never expected it to look as great as it does. And I just completely forgot about it after realizing, like, oh, the underwear's on the outside. I heard people talking about this. He still looks like fucking Superman. So everybody was freaking out about the underwear. I think it looks great. And when I say people are freaking out, it was like throughout the entire history of Superman. Well, you can never make a movie with the underwear. Well, you could, because it looks fucking great. It reminds me of the X-Men costumes. We're like, oh, you can't make X-Men costumes. They'd look stupid. We have to put them in black leather. And then they do it. And then they actually do Wolverine in the yellow costume. And you're like, no, that looks great. They should have just done that. Or whether or not it's modern costuming, you can pull it off, whatever. The monkey bots hate farming on Superman. I thought shit was hilarious. All the chicks falling in love with Jimmy Olsen is great. And a stark contrast to him being executed by the Taliban in the fucking goddamn Snyder movies. Like, holy shit. shit. Like, talk about utilizing the character the right way, like you're supposed to utilize. And this is somebody, guys, I've read maybe 3 pages of a Superman comic book my entire life. I know this is a better use for the Jimmy Olsen character than having him be executed by the Taliban in the first 10 minutes of Batman versus Superman. Mr. Terrific, I thought his mask, I don't know what the makeup was to make his mask, but it was so different. They didn't just glue a mask on him, but it was like moved with his face. It looked fucking great. When he put the nanobots in all of his friends' bloodstreams, and he was just like, oh, that's no big deal. I do that to everybody. That shit made me laugh. Hot Girl is the chick from Last of Us. She is hot. I don't understand why the internet's kind of like going crazy about the character, because I thought she was just okay as Hot Girl, but people are like freaking out about it. Anyway, they executed the Indian guy. I didn't see that coming. That was a shocking moment for me. Lex is a giant asshole, and I do agree he's chewing the scenery, but he's chewing it the right way, unlike fucking Jesse Eisenberg that I wanted to like stab my eyes and ears out throughout that entire movie. Mr. Terrific is actually ironically doing an impression of Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Thank you. I was definitely going to mention, why is he playing Kirk Lazarus, playing a dude? He's
a dude disguised as a dude, playing another dude in a James Gunn movie. It is like obvious, dude. No offense to the dude, but I mean, I thought it was great. Honestly,
that's the dude from the X-Men First Class. So he didn't talk like that in First Class. He's definitely playing a character, and I would not have ever expected Mr. Terrific to sound like Kirk Lazarus, but people seem to like it, so I'll go with it. Why not?
Yeah, he was great. And I thought the jacket looked good. His whole vibe was great in this movie. And it came out of nowhere for me. I thought for sure he was going to be super lame. No pun intended, but he was actually great in the movie. Okay, let me see. What else? The alien baby, worst CGI. And the Metamorphose baby was horrible. I don't know how they spent all this money on all the CGI, and then such an important plot device looked that bad.
Well, and then also swimming in a sea of translucent Legos. That was a little different.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Very Minecraft movie. Why did it take him so long to use his eye lasers? He only uses, like, I don't know what the deal was with that.
Well, I think there might be another Snyder refutation, because he was constantly using eye lasers in the Snyder movies. So they're like, okay, we'll dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, but I didn't see him using his like ice breath before the eye lasers. And he did. I would have lost that bet. The pocket dimension rift thing, you lost me a little bit with the pocket dimension rift, where that was like the distraction to get. I was like, you know what, dude? And then it was just like swallowing the entire city, and then suddenly they had already evacuated Manhattan. Like, I don't know. It was just a lot. That was a little lot. I don't know what that means. It was a lot. And James Gunn doesn't usually do shit like that. So I feel like there's probably 10 minutes of this movie that got cut that attributed to kind of building and explaining that a little bit more. And then as opposed to the 5-second cut of people just evacuating Manhattan. Let me see what I got here.
I do think that's got to be some retro engineered boom tube technology, because just specifically visualizing it in that way.
Yeah.
Be this rundown, rusty, gross version of what's probably going to be big and majestic when they ever get around to the fourth world. I think that was intentional. And I think it's a situation where he's definitely scavenging a technology that's really beyond even his brilliance. So I'm glad that they did it the way they did if they were going to do that.
Yeah. The cubes, everything was cubes, like the fucking mother box or whatever. That was the first thing I thought of too. I'm just saying that plot device I thought was a little poorly put together. Using the pocket universe itself, I thought they did a great job, where he's like imprisoning his ex-girlfriends and shit in it. I was down with all that stuff. I had no issue with any of that. It was the collapsing of the world. Like, okay, this is fucking kind of going out of nowhere. And it also reminded me a little bit of Superman 2 with the fault line and everything, whatever. Which is not bad. That's fine. Any callback to the Christopher Reeve Superman movies is great. Let me see what else. The fight scenes had the weird shaky cam stuff, and it did it sometimes when he was like flying. They would do this weird like stop motiony shaky cam thing, and I don't know what that was about, and it just looked odd to me. It didn't look cool at all. It just looked odd. Now, I'm not talking about where they glue the GoPro to his like forehead and show that, but there were other ones when he was, I don't know if they were trying to show speed or something. It did not work for me. And again, the fight scenes, they did like tons of shaky cam stuff that I didn't really appreciate. Cat Grant, holy shit, that chick is fucking smoking hot, like insanely hot. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she's doing in the movie. I didn't hear a word that came out of her mouth, but I appreciate she was there. She was
giving Sabrina Carpenter vibes for sure.
Oh, she's way hotter than Sabrina Carpenter. But my kids exclaimed, "They kiss forever," and they kind of checked out of that whole part of the movie where Lois and Clark are kissing, and it did seem to drag on for a long time, like a little too long for how much they seem to have cut out of other parts. You know, the movie's like under 2 hours, so to take up that much real estate with Lois Lois and Clark, Lois and Superman, because he was Superman at the time, making out, I thought was a little funny, and my kids noticed it, and they didn't appreciate it either. And I will say, I do like and I don't know if they're going to explain it in the next movie, whatever, but the fact that his Kryptonian parents were actually just fucking assholes, and that he interpreted their abbreviation. Yeah, go ahead.
Did they steal that from Smallville?
Maybe they did. I don't know. Ancient.
I believe there was an episode where Christopher Reeves actually appeared, and he was like a scientist, and he was able to translate Kryptonian language. And it turned out that the reason they sent Clark there was because he would. In this version, he's like, oh, you're gonna have a harem of women and shit like that. But I want to say, because honestly, I've never watched a complete episode of Smallville, but I remember hearing about that episode, and I'm like, well, I want to watch Christopher Reeves on TV. And I want to say that he told him, oh yeah, we're sending you to the planet because nothing there can hurt you. Like, you'll be perfectly safe because we know the yellow sun will have a different effect on you. I figured Frank would know that or not.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch Smallville much myself, but that goes back to the first Donner movie. They reference, why he's really? In this backward world, because he's going to have powers that no one else can touch, so he'll be fine on that world. But yeah, that extrapolation where you make it more and more menacing rather than just doing something to make sure to protect your son, that tracks with a lot of that type of shit that they were doing in that time period. That sounds familiar to me, so I think you're correct.
So, but the reason I like it is because it gave credit to his parents in Kansas that like raised him right, and that he's actually he's a good person. Do you know what I mean? Like, his fucking Kryptonian parents. What a fucking trope, dude. They raised him via recorded Zoom call. It's like the stupidest shit ever. His parents in Kansas raised him. Ma and Pa Kent raised him, and they're the ones that made him the good person that he is. And I like they kind of double down on that, and just like, forget these stupid Marlon Brando recordings of his bad hair, bad wigs on Marlon Brando telling him that he's like meant to be this great person. Fuck all that shit. It was Ma and Pa Kent, dude. The mortals were the ones that helped set Clark on this course to be, this amazing Superman, if you'd like for me to call to what his name is. I dug that shit. They go a little overboard with the harem shit. Yeah, maybe. I don't really care though. So anyway, that's the end of my notes. Oh, and the stingers were terrible. So that's it. That's my note. Okay, but I didn't tell you if I liked the movie or not. Hey, I liked the movie. I thought it was good. Again, I went in with low expectations, not because I'm a James Gunn hater or because I thought it was going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy 4.0 or whatever like that. Although he has a particular style. I think that's what we need. We learned of his style more recently in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and Suicide Squad. This is just how he shoots movies. You know what? The kaijus are all going to be done by the same special effects house. A lot of the costumes are going to be done the same. And like, look, they're going to kind of look the same. But it just happens to be he's a very particular way of shooting these movies, so it kind of stands out. I thought it was going to be weird on a Superman movie. I didn't think it was weird at all. I liked it. I liked the Justice Gang. I liked the freaking middle fingers coming out and like knocking all the tanks over. My kids absolutely loved that shit, and I did too. I thought it was all good. So I apologize. I had said some bad shit about this movie in some previous podcasts. I will take it on the chin, dude. I enjoyed it. I'm down for Superman 2. But I did say this movie's not going to make $1 billion. It ain't going to make $1 billion. If it makes $1 billion, I will be extremely, extremely shocked.
There's no chance of this making $1 billion.
Zero chance.
Zero chance, yes.
But it's going to get closer than I would have ever thought it would. So
I think there's still some question about whether or not it's even going to overtake Man of Steel because of what it made and the time frame it's had to make more money.
It did domestically though, right? It's already passed Man of Steel domestically.
No. Yeah, and that's unadjusted dollars as well. We just have a different landscape now. People have to put the B out of their mind. I know that Deadpool and Wolverine pulled a B. That's the outlier. We're not going to be seeing a bunch of Bs anymore because not enough people are going to theaters. They're not paying the same inflated prices for the IMAX and the 3D to the degree they were back then. You can't chase that dragon. That's you're not going to have another end game. It's just not going to happen, even with these Avenger movies coming out. So people, I hope they put that on their mind. But most importantly, I think that the film studios, if they want to keep making these movies, have to understand that they've got to bring the cost down. You've got to bring the expectations down, put more into the script, put less into the CGI, because you're not going to get $1 billion. So you got to.
No, you're wrong. It's past. Okay, unadjusted, it's already passed Superman, Man of Steel.
Unadjusted, it's past Man of Steel.
Yeah.
The other day, and I did not see that.
Superman 2025 is at 292. Man of Steel made 291. It's past it, domestic. So
okay.
Again, unadjusted. You got to adjust that. It's a little different, obviously. Yeah. But
well, I mean, good for that. I'm glad for that. I want the movie to do well because again, it's launching the DCU. I want more DC movies. I want more diverse DC movies movies with weirder characters, with more singular visions. I think that this is going to help that. I think the Gunn's going to help shepherd that. So I do root for this movie's success. That's why I was paying attention to those numbers and paying attention to those comparisons. So yeah, hopefully it helps to steer us in that direction.
Now, worldwide though, isn't there a bunch of fucking all the Palestinian Israeli conflict? They're saying he's going to kill it domestically.
I don't think it's that. I think it's anti-American sentiment. I think that stuff like superheroes in general are associated with America. People are pretty pissed off at us right now. Usually you have a higher take international than domestic. Like definitely with like the Jurassic Park movie that came out this year, the international is way higher than the domestic.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of those Transformers situations where the international market hasn't given up on the franchise yet, but you've obviously seen some erosion in the domestic interest. But with the superhero shit, it's flipped in recent months. I think all the superhero movies this year, it's been domestic higher. And because it's the entire rest of the world, that's not great for the prospects of making great big bunches of money if the rest of the world's kind of like, I don't know. You know, we need more than just the United States to get those upper three-figure and four-figure numbers. Or sorry, like 9-figure numbers and 10-figure numbers.
Yeah, so like international for Man of Steel was $379 million. There is no way this movie is making $379 international. It's at $214. It's not making another $150 million internationally.
Well, especially because it was doing really well during the weekdays. I don't know relative to most movies, but it seemed to me like when we were still doing double digits every day of the week, that was great. But then most recently, going into this weekend and coming out of this weekend, they were into the single figures, and that means that you stop looking at hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're just looking at earning tens of millions of dollars, and that just shows you where the inertia is kicked in.
You know what? And I'm looking at Box Office Mojo. It's showing Superman 2025. It didn't even get released in China.
Oh, it got
released. It did Hong Kong only.
It did nothing in China. Like it like I think it was in and out in one weekend. It bombed in China, but it didn't in China. Yeah, it didn't make anything.
Man of Steel made $63 million in China. So that's your delta right there.
Well, but again, the things have changed because at the time that Man of Steel was going into China, China was still this virgin territory that didn't have very much in the way of domestic product, particularly in the way of that scale. Whereas this last year, they had a $2 billion movie, an animated movie that was just like colossal. It was Chinese generated and almost exclusively viewed in China.
Nija, yes. Yeah. I was going to bring this up later. Nija 2, it's a sequel. It's not even the first one. Nija 2 worldwide has made $1.9 billion in 2025. I had no idea. I said Nija 2. My wife said, bless you. I'm just letting that breathe a little bit for our audience at home because they're laughing so hard right now in their cars. They may be in an accident. But no, it's Lilo and Stitch and Minecraft movie was what I expected to be at the top. And they're 2 and 3 behind Nija 2. Fucking by almost $1 billion, dude. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's your delta right there. Superman nobody's seeing that shit in the land of China. So anyway, back to my point was about the box office. I said it was going to make $1 billion. It ain't going to make $1 billion, but really that should have never been the argument. These things aren't going to make $1 billion anymore. If they do, like Doomsday will probably make $1 billion, but these individual movies are not going to make $1 billion. It's just not going to happen.
I think if Doomsday is good, it might make $1 billion. It better be really fucking good because I don't think you can rely on that. Sure.
I think that the opening box office could get it close enough. That's going to be one of those things where everyone's going to run out so they don't get any fucking spoilers. But it's going to be a one-off. It's like when I called during COVID when everybody was like, "Oh, the movie theaters are back because of Spider-Man, whatever that one was with the
Brand New Day or No Way Home
that had all the 3 Peter Parkers in it or whatever." And I'm like, dude, that's a one-off. Everybody's running out for all the other Spider-Man movies. This isn't like some sort of Shang-Chi bump or whatever. Doomsday will be the same thing. So
it's going to get the X-Men bump on that one.
It'll get X-Men and Fantastic Four has done well, so people are going to want to see them. Plus Robert Downey Jr. bump. So anyway, and I think Deadpool's going to be in it too. That movie's going to make if Minecraft made $1 billion, that movie will make $1 billion.
No, I think that they're pleasure delayers. I think that they're going to wait for Deadpool and Wolverine until Secret Wars. I think they're going to put all their Phase 4 and 5 guys with the X people in the first one, and then they're going to really blow it out with all the big names and Chris Evans returning as Captain America and all that kind of stuff into Secret Wars.
Okay, all right. You're making me nauseous. I don't want to talk about this shit. So, okay, all right. So you talk about Superman now. I've talked a bunch about it.
So I'm actually doing a rewatch of the Superman movies, and just like we did a while back with the Batman movies. So I'm putting you guys on notice if you want to, keep up with the Superman stuff in the conversation. Start watching the Superman movies because I want to do that again. And also Fixit's on a time delay. He's he's running out of time. So I want to make sure we get to talk to Frank, Fantastic Four with him.
Okay.
So just very
Real
briefly.
quick. I've already seen. I've rewatched the first two Superman so far.
Excellent. Okay. So keep at it because we're gonna do a whole all of them and rank them, and hopefully it'll be a good time. So here's my thing. Like I saw Superman with my gal. We both liked it. We both enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. No major complaints with that stuff. What bothered me was then I would get on the social media and the people that I'm friendly with that I know have been watching all these superhero movies all these years and DC guys to boot. There were too many of these guys trying to say that this movie was maybe the best Superman movie ever made. And I'm like, you guys need to chill the fuck out. That's some fucking total fucking bullshit. You motherfuckers, some of you motherfuckers were in the theater when the Donner movie came out and you're trying to say that this was better than that. You need to fucking cool your horses, motherfuckers. And they were arguing with me and they've continued to argue with me about that. So, I like Superman fine. It's a fun movie. I think it's well cast for the most part. I think that we have a new Superman. We have a really excellent Lois Lane too. I think that she's awesome. And when she gets more screen time, I think she's going to be a contender for best Lois Lane ever. So I already love her performance and that all works for me. And of course you've got a great Lex Luthor, Nicholas Hoult. So, all the pieces are there. It's just like, and one of the things I love so much about it is they talk about how it's like a triangle number arrow Superman title where you go from action to adventures to Superman and Man of Steel from week to week. And so this section is focusing on Lois and her trying to find Superman. So obviously Louis Simonson wrote that one. And then this one over here is the Dan Jurgens one and that kind of bullshit. And it's true. It does have that vibe. And I think that's part of the reason why they're fucking nutting in their pants over this fucking shit. But also that means that it's super fucking episodic, fairly plotless. Part of what I enjoy about it is, and again, makes it the opposite of Thunderbolts, is there's so much shit going on at all times that I can't get bored with it the way that I could with the other movies because there's always some new character. Hey, there's Metamorpho. Hey, there's this little Easter egg. And look at the mural where it's got all the different history of the DC characters at the Justice Gang headquarters in Cincinnati, Ohio, whatever it is. So yeah, this is a fun movie. I liked it fine. But if you try to tell me it's one of the best Superman movies ever made, you need to fuck off. Now, there's some very essential stuff that Matt brings up that I want to go into greater detail on in the future when we talk about all the Superman movies. But I think this is a perfect movie for people who are fans of the Triangle era. And I have massive grievances about the Triangle era. So again, parts of this movie I'm not the target audience. And in fact, they kind of piss me off, but I think that's a discussion for another time. Overall, it's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I saw it. I couldn't get an IMAX screening. I was trying to get an IMAX screening and they were all just not sold out, but I wasn't going to sit in the shitty seats that were left over. And I didn't want to be around that many people. Ultimately, I saw a 3D one, which wasn't worth it. Like I keep forgetting, like 3D is much better now in terms of consistency. You watch a movie and it's in 3D throughout the fucking movie. You've got dimensional spacing and everything, and that's great. But I get tired of watching a movie through a gray veil the entire time. I will say though that they had a trailer for the new Avatar, and the 3D on that trailer was so much better. That is like, holy shit! I can see that James Cameron, like, he wasn't going to be satisfied. He was going to make it the best 3D ever. So I could definitely see the difference between the Avatar 3D and what they did with Superman. But it was fine. I enjoyed it. And now we need to talk about Fantastic Four while Fix is still with us.
Well, hold on. What did you think of Guy Gardner?
It's hard for me to let go of Dennis Leary as my Guy Gardner and Nathan Fillion. I think he did fine, but I still it's got to be Nathan Fillion because he's buddies with James Gunn, and James Gunn's always going to find a thing for him to do. I thought he was a perfectly good Guy Gardner. I know he's going to be in Peacemaker. He's going to be in Lanterns, so we're going to see a lot of this version. I think it's fine. It's not quite what I would have wanted for Guy Gardner, but I think it's good. It's fine. It's just not 100% what I wanted. So it's not the kind of perfection that we're getting with the new Superman, the new Lois Lane, for instance. But I think it was good. I don't have any major complaints. It's just not 100% what I wanted.
Okay, I was just kind of curious.
I will say you had some pretty harsh. I think one of the things everybody was worried about that they were going to try and cram too much shit in this movie, and I thought for being under 2 hours, it was fine. I thought I didn't felt like the movie was like, oh, another new character. Oh, another new character. Like Metamorpho wasn't there to have his entire fucking origin arc. It was like he was there for a specific purpose. They explained what his deal was, and then his deal was his deal. It to me, the movie didn't feel nearly as overloaded as I was expecting it to, where it was like, oh shit, we got wars, and we got Kaiju, and we got Mr. Terrific, and we got Guy Gardner, and we got all this stuff. And it was like, I don't know. I never at any point thought that it never felt Batman Returns to me, where it was just like this is too many main characters for me to keep track of. I think that they all just kind of they were like satellite characters around the main storyline. Again, another thing that I was just for sure they were going to fuck up in this movie, that James Gunn was going to geek out too much and just throw too much shit in it, and he didn't do that. I mean, maybe he did, but the way it was edited properly, what was edited, made it work for me. me. So, and look, dude, you're gonna shit on some people for saying it's a really good Superman movie. I know you. Maybe that's not the best. It's the third best Superman movie. So, the problem though is that look, these Superman movies usually suck. So, I mean, it's like
I'm not agreeing with the third best. I won't say.
Oh, get out of here, dude! What are you, a Superman 4 guy? Are you a closet Superman 4 guy?
We'll have this discussion. But what I will say is that I think that shows it's a credit to James Gunn, because I think that he knew, okay, I've got 120 minutes and I'm going to write the script for 120 minutes. I'm going to cut out anything I don't need. I'm going to make sure everything gets resolved. I'm not going to leave any loose threads. So that's Gunn showing that when he said that he had a finished script and it was locked before they shot anything, I think that shows there, because I think when you look at Thunderbolts, it's a movie that feels a little empty. I think that there's stuff in there that could have been cut. You could have gone cutter deeper than 2 hours, but they just kept what was in there to keep it at 2 hours. And then we'll talk about Fantastic Four, where, not to rush into it, but I do feel like you can plainly see there's a bunch of shit that was supposed to be in that movie that ain't in that movie, in part because they want to keep it under 2 hours. You can tell there's just a lot of fucking shit missing in that movie. I don't think there's anything missing with Superman. I think they knew what they were going to shoot, and it's all on the screen.
Yeah, like I said, I think the only part that felt rushed was the weird pocket universe collapsing and suddenly everybody's evacuated from Manhattan. That was the only thing that felt rushed to me.
It's very busy, but it's manageable. I don't know of too many people that were like, oh, there was too much going on, I couldn't keep up with it all. I think it was just the right amount of eye candy and exciting things happening without overloading people. And I think that's part of what they enjoy about it, is just candy. You're never let down. You're never wanting for something cool to look at.
Okay, can I have a sidebar with Mr. Fixit? You just shut up. You shut up. I'm gonna talk to Mr. Fixit. This motherfucker's gonna say that Man of Steel is better than the Superman movie, like a fucking idiot, dude. He's so dumb. The Kevin Costner hold to, well, first of all, when he embarrasses Clark for rescuing that bus full of kids, acting like he shouldn't have done it, and then does the whole "Don't save me from the tornado" in front of everybody, is they're memed. It's such a stupid thing, but he's gonna say that movie's better. Anyway, let's talk about Fantastic Four.
Experience the Marvel movie critics are raving about. And now it's certified fresh.
Galactus asked too high a price.
Well, what does he want?
What did he ask? He said, give us your child, and I will spare the Earth.
What's the plan?
I am not giving him up.
The idea is simple. Hand over their baby, and we all live.
I will not sacrifice my child for this world. But I will not sacrifice this world for my child. We will face this together as a family.
Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four. See the biggest movie of the summer in IMAX. Now playing. Rated PG-13.
So Fantastic Four came out. I saw this movie more recently than both of you guys. You see a theme happening here? So I saw this movie more recently, so I guess, should I talk about it first? I didn't make notes on it.
Honestly, I need Fixit to talk about it first, because Fixit gave me about roughly a 10 o'clock deadline, so I need to hear from him first.
All right, Mr. Fixit, tell us how you saw it, where you saw it, when you saw it, and what you thought of it.
Cousin of mine invited me to go see it with his family. Regular showing, went in. I loved the movie. I thought it was great. I know Frank's gonna shit all over it, I'm pretty sure. I enjoyed. I like the aesthetically future feel to it. I thought the family worked great together. They bought, it felt like a real family. So I actually enjoyed that quite a bit. Special effects were great. A couple of missteps, especially when Franklin popped up. He looked a little weird, which kind of would throw me off. Galactus was fucking amazing. I love the fact that I know they play with his scale. Sometimes he's larger than a planet. Sometimes he's the size of a planet. Like, he's always bouncing around. I like the fact that he landed on the Earth and he's walking around. He picks up the grass and he takes this. He smells the Earth.
Godzilla. I fucked her. Oh,
what?
Godzilla. I fucked her. Oh.
I thought it was a really good movie. It was
an Andrew Dice Clay.
Okay. I was disappointed that they cut out the Red Ghost. I really would have loved to have seen that, because I did like that newsreel they did in the beginning where they kind of showed like a little bit of their adventures. I thought it was a strange use of Mole Man as like this whole underground city that he's going to rescue everybody. But I did like that, at least they did incorporate that. So it was a nice nod. I thought it was cool that there's a scene where you can see that is Jack Kirby looking out the window, and you can see his drawing board, and you can see the artwork. I thought that was kind of a nice nod. Now I have a quick. I hate to do this, but real quick, jumping back to Superman, was that character that was working for Lex supposed to look like Stan Lee?
The character
No.
that's working, the guy
The dude with the
mustache?
mustache and no.
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
Okay.
No, hold on.
I-
I'll give it a little bit of potential. I never got the guy's name, but because of the potential the potential boom tube connection, there's a slim possibility that could be Funky Flashman, who was 100% Jack Kirby dunking on Stan Lee. I'm not aware of that. I don't think that's the case. I've not seen anybody talk about that. But there's still
he looked awfully like I just happened to watch a documentary on the Fantastic Four like a few days before I went to see it, and they were showing Stan from the '60s, and I swear it looked just like him.
Well, remind me, did he have glasses or sunglasses?
Yeah,
he had glasses.
Like sunglasses.
Okay,
I think.
And so when I saw that, I was thinking, okay, well, it's a nod. James Gunn is giving a nod to Stan Lee, and in this one, they were like, well, we're going to give a nod to Jack Kirby. I thought that was kind of nice. He actually shot with Jack. I thought Herbie was fun. The Thing was cool as shit. I thought he looked amazing. I actually liked the Silver Surfer. I thought she looked great. I thought that was I really enjoyed that. Let's see what else.
Well, just to throw in real quick, one thing I liked about the female Silver Surfer is because they had all that black outline around like her eyes and like contours and stuff. It reminded me so much of the Silver Surfer 50 gimmick cover with the foil embossing, where they went in there and they did the same thing to that version. I just like that. It was the nostalgic touch for me. I don't think it was intentional, but that's part of what I liked about it.
It didn't bother me that it was a woman. My cousin who was with me at the time, he was like, this movie was fun until they went woke with a female surfer. And I was like, it's in the book. Oh, it is? I'm like, yeah, it's in the book. He quieted down after that. Besides that, I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it kind of gave me the same feeling as when I first, like one of my favorites still is the first Captain America. I absolutely love that movie. I could watch it over and over. I never get tired of it. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies, and it kind of gave me that feel. The same thing with the first Iron Man. There's just something real special about those movies, and this one felt that kind of special to me too. It didn't feel like anything else that's come out recently. It definitely felt on its own, and so I really appreciated it. And people clapped at the end, which I thought was kind of cool. So people definitely were invested in the character. They enjoyed the movie. Again, I couldn't get over Galactus. I just thought he looked fantastic. The voice looked great. I liked his kaiju movements when he's walking around. Clever bugs are pretty funny. What's that actress you really like, Frank?
Natasha Lyonne. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
From Russian Doll. From Russian Doll, not from Poker Face. From Russian Doll, yes.
I thought she was in Poker Face too.
She is. I'm saying that Russian Doll is an underappreciated, one of the best television shows ever, and not enough people talk about how wonderful Russian Doll is. And I think Poker Face is a fun show, but everybody talks about Poker Face like, talk about Russian Doll, it's awesome. Anyway.
So I was surprised she popped up. I thought, her being I really did like the part where Reed Richards is smart, but he's not like arrogant smart, where you can see he's kind of a little off. I love the way he played him, but I like the fact when he was taking down the gangs and they're talking about the Puppet Master and Diablo, and he's pointing out in the different parts of the city where the cops are raiding. I was like, okay, that's just cool, because he's trying to baby safe the city. So just stuff like that just made the movie fun to me. It was fun. All right, Frank, go ahead and tear it apart.
I just gonna say it's cool how he was driven by his anxiety rather than narcissism or arrogance. And I like the scene where he's talking to Franklin and saying, there's something wrong with me, and I hope that you don't have something wrong with you either, but there's a good chance you do. And I just like that honesty. And it is a little bit of a foreshadowing of some versions of Reed Richards. So that was a nice scene, and it was a nice approach to the character.
So I enjoyed it. Like I said, it was a fun movie for me. Go ahead and tear it apart, Frank.
Well, I think Mac wanted to get in there, and he's got notes.
Okay.
I actually don't have notes on this movie. So let me see. I'm trying to remember some of the things that. Okay, I'll jump around because without notes, I'm kind of schizo. So I apologize, everybody. The vibe of the movie, I thought they did a great job. And you know what, dude? We deserve credit, Diabolu Frank, because it was either you or I or both of us in a long forgotten podcast said that this is how you make Fantastic Four work. You have to go full 60s, full family, full Technicolor. But we didn't know if they would actually do it, and they did it. And I'm sorry, this is easily the best Fantastic Four. I'm not going to even apologize. Strike me saying I'm sorry from the record. This is unapologetically the best Fantastic Four movie. If you have some stupid fucking millennial, what do they call it? The fucking prequel. There's people who think the prequels are the best fucking
Jesus Christ,
Star Wars movies. I'm sure there's some people who are like, well, this isn't my Silver Surfer. I grew up with what's the chick from the who was Sue Storm in those movies?
Jessica Alba.
Yeah, Jessica Alba. I'm more of a Jessica Alba era Fantastic Four. Shut up. Those movies are garbage, dude. Those movies are trash.
She looked really fucking good in those outfits, though, man.
Well, hell yeah, she did, dude. She looked fucking awesome. Although, like, dude, Vanessa Kirby's hot as hell. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there are people who are like those movies unironically, but they're weirdos, and we don't need to talk about them. And maybe we need to put them in some sort of camp. Whereas, like, this movie's just wall to wall. It's by far the first Fantastic Four. Okay, so that's not breaking news. It's the best Fantastic Four movie. Is this the best Marvel movie we've had in a very long time? Absolutely, this is the best Marvel movie we've had in a long time, dude. This breaks a long ass streak. I don't know what was the previous best movie. Maybe like you mentioned earlier, Frank. I love Black Widow. You love Black Widow. There's something super dark and kind of cool about that movie. What came after that? Maybe Doctor Strange. This is better than Doctor Strange.
I like Multiverse of Madness. I like Deadpool and Wolverine. So
okay, Deadpool and Wolverine. Is it better than Deadpool and Wolverine? I guess that's a debate because I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine too. So let's because I guess that's technically a Marvel Universe movie now, right? So outside of like those, like this movie is definitely above all these other fucking Brave New World, Thunderbolts. I didn't see the Marvels. I don't plan to see the Marvels. It's better than Eternals. Like all this crap. It's better than all that stuff. I think they stepped up the effects in this movie. I think they've heard a lot of the groaning about how bad the special effects are in these Marvel movies lately. I thought they were a little better in Thunderbolts than they'd been in the past. They were definitely not. Brave New Worlds were horrible. But I love the costumes, and they weren't even like shitty bodysuits. They were like sweaters. Like they were wearing like sweaters, and they still look fantastic. You know what I mean? Like give the freaking comics some credit, you people. Put underwear on Superman. It looks great. Put these people in like Sears Roebuck catalog Fantastic Four sweaters. They look great. You know what I'm saying? Like I could see the threads on the fucking knitting for these things. They look fantastic. I think they did a pretty good job of balancing Galactus looking Kirby-esque, but also having the cool like Borg style technology all over him. Although I do think Ragnarok pulled Kirby off better than Fantastic Four did. Like the Kirby vibe. Ragnarok is like heavy Kirby vibe, like all over that place. The dudes are all Kirby people. This one,
the one thing I will say about that is that Ragnarok wasn't going for sci-fi horror, and the middle part of this movie, they wanted you to be scared shitless Galactus, and I think making him all dirty and creepy. He's not Giger, but there's definitely techno horror aspect to it
for sure.
So that could have been what they were angling towards. They wanted you to fear this dude, and that's why they didn't go as Technicolor as they could have. But definitely once he's in the city and he's better lit, you can see the purples in there. He's just kind of dirty.
Yeah, and I will say that like this was supposed to be all like Technicolor rainbow lollipop stuff, but they did then go sci-fi with it, right? The Galactus stuff with the beam of light hitting her belly is creepy as shit, dude. Knowing that she's pregnant and they're focusing on the child and that he wants the baby and everything, that's all creepy shit. Her giving birth in zero gravity as they're slingshotting around a black hole is some creepy Event Horizon shit that like I was not expecting in this movie. You know what I'm saying? You mentioned, again, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, guys.
I do kind of wish we had some zero-G water floating around, though.
No, but
like, there was some... I mean, as it is, though, like Johnny and Ben are there. She's flapping in the breeze, crowning and shit. So an eye full of that shit.
There were sound effects. I know. I'm a parent, and my kids were staring at this shit in 3D. And I'm like, I'm gonna get all sorts of questions from this movie. But like they went there, right? I kept waiting for them to cut scene at any point, and they didn't. Like they did the whole birth, dude. Where I think even like Ben like hands her a fucking blanket to cover up with shit. Like,
and he's got the clips to for the umbilicus.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I think when she kicks her pants off and they float across the thing, you know what I mean? Like they went.
Oh, we're doing this, yeah.
Like they thought the Lois and Superman scene drug on too long. How do you think I felt? So, okay, so then we'll jump to Silver Surfer real quick. Totally did not care she was a chick. I was a little like kind of annoyed by that. I thought it was great. It's fantastic. I do think she didn't look as good as a Silver Surfer from the original Fantastic Four. She wasn't mirrory enough for me. I don't know. Something with the CGI on her was not great for me, but her being a woman, I didn't give a shit. I didn't care. And in fact, that let you kind of play up the relationship between her and Johnny. And then you also believed the empathy a little bit more. So I thought all that worked. Didn't have a problem with any of that stuff.
They give her a child too. So they're giving you that little extra something, which is kind of key to this movie too, as far as this isn't the Marvel universe we're familiar with. There's going to be some divergences on purpose to let you know this is 818, not 616. So I get that, and that worked pretty well.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with any of that. Hey, when did Natasha Lyonne turn 75? She looked extremely old in this movie, to where I was like, is this Natasha Lyonne's mom? She looked outrageously old. I feel very bad saying that.
No, I didn't get that at all. I see, like, the voice, sure, she's always had a 70-year-old chain smoker's voice. I don't think she looked bad. She looked, actually, if anything, I thought she looked a little bit more gutsied up than I'm used to her.
No, not her finest moment in film. She looked extremely old, especially because she was like an old teacher or whatever. I don't know what was going on with that, dude. She looked older than the actress that had playing Kirby's wife. I don't know what was up. She needs to lay off the death sticks, bro, and stop smoking. Let me see what else. I thought Thing looked great. The scale got a little jacked up. Sometimes he was like shorter than Johnny and Reed, and sometimes he wasn't. That was a little bit weird. I also realized that
a weird amount of time watching his hat line. You know, the hat were just kind of like, okay, I'm not sure if the physics on that work, you know, so I will cop to that.
Yeah. He also sounds kind of like Mark Ruffalo.
Yes, thank you. I wanted that to be addressed. If these two
sounds like Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
Like he was Professor Hulk, especially when he was doing the I don't want to do the it's clobbering time shtick, just like the Professor Hulk shtick from Endgame. Like, I don't know. It was something about it but he was better. It made me just think of like how stupid the Professor Hulk character was in those movies, and that how much I missed the Hulk, because he's doing the Thing. He's doing like a shitty bootleg kind of smart thing. Thing was the Thing, and he was good. I liked that. Not saying the it's clobbering time, that reminded me of something else from these movies, and I don't know what it was, but it was like we did this before. We did the I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if I'm thinking of a movie franchise, but it was fine in these
Tim Story movies. I haven't watched those. I haven't watched those in ages. Maybe it's from the Tim Story movies. I don't know.
I didn't watch those either, dude. So I don't think that was it. But it felt like that was a trope of him not wanting to say the cartoon tagline. That I don't know what it'll come to me at some point, but it didn't bother me enough to like take me out of the movie or anything. And then of course the final is clobbering time to hit Galactus was fine. Let me see. What was some weird stuff in this movie? Oh, and I thought Pedro Pascal. I was like, I'm gonna think this is Pedro Pascal the whole time, which I did. But he played a kick-ass Reed for the stuff you guys mentioned earlier, where he was sort of like troubled by his own intelligence, knowing that he was like, that he's like a little bit off. You know what I mean? Which is
he can't like stop once he starts on something, and
well, no, but where it really came into play was that like she knew that Franklin had to be the bait, because that's the most logical path. When he like started tearing up because she knew that he knew, and like Johnny's like, of course, 10 minutes behind everybody. But like, dude, stuff like that is like she knows her husband, right? And that's the only way to save the Earth is that he's got to be the bait for it, and that she's not going to be able to stop him, and that he's right. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, stuff like that was like, that's Reed Richards. He's too fucking smart for his own good to where it like damages the relationship, and even he knows, and he even like tried to deny it at first. Like stuff like that, dude. That's the kind of shit that I didn't think they could make me give a shit about in the Fantastic Four universe, and I actually gave a shit about it because I'm a longtime Fantastic Four hater too. Although I was looking forward to this movie for some of the reasons we said earlier. I think they were really leaning into the Technicolor 60s family stuff. I was just afraid they weren't, and I'm trying to make them the X-Men, which is what I just assumed they're always going to do with the Fantastic Four. And the fact they weren't made me actually want to like go see it. But that's never like motivated me to read any Fantastic Four comic books. But it did motivate me to see the movie. So like I like genuinely loved reading this movie because he was like extremely he's not supposed to be Tony Stark. You know what I'm saying? Tony Stark is the guy who uses his intelligence for sometimes the wrong reasons, right? And that he's got the charisma and he's got all that stuff. Whereas Reed is like more like it like troubles him. It like his own intelligence haunts him. You know what I mean? It's like his worst enemy.
Tony Stark is a tech bro. He's a move fast and break shit kind of dude. And Reed is like the engineer who's like thinking about every possible thing that can go wrong and figuring out how to make sure everything's perfect and everything works perfectly. And he's going to lose sleep at night thinking about this stuff because he's afraid of doing harm and he only wants to do good. And the only reason why he's making it in the first place is because he sees the potential for damage or he sees the potential to help people and he just can't stop but keep working on this stuff. So they're like completely different mindsets, completely different dudes.
Yeah, which is key to not making him just like a clone, because they could have done that. They could be like, ooh, we could make Reed the Tony Stark of this universe, because everybody loved Tony Stark in the Marvel universe. No, don't do it. They didn't do it. It was great. I thought the Fantastic Car looked awesome, which everybody always makes fun of Fantastic Car. It was awesome in this movie. I was really worried with how they were going to make, and I think I said this 10 years ago in a podcast, that there's no way you can make the Johnny Storm look good. Well, guess what? He looked good in this movie. I never at any point was like, that looks terrible, or you know what I mean? He looked great. I didn't have any problem with that. Thing looked great. Mr. Fantastic stretching is just going to look weird, folks. We all just got to get over it. Luckily, they didn't have him doing stretching kung fu or some shit in this movie. In fact, they used it for Galactus trying to pull him apart, which I thought worked awesome because you knew at some point that the Stretch Armstrong was going to like give out. So they didn't do it too much where it was like super hokey. Franklin Richards did not look weird to me because I just watched Squid Game seasons 2 and 3. And this is huge spoilers for Squid Game. There's a kid in Squid Game. The kid is 100% CGI in the movie, in the TV show. And it is the most bizarre choice that they couldn't just get a baby to act in a movie. They had to make a CGI baby, and it takes you completely out of the show. And the fact that Franklin Richards was at least 89% of the time a real baby was like fantastic to me because we just finished Squid Game with the CGI baby and it was horrible. Let me think what else. Anyway, that was it. I do think I liked it. But so then when it gets to between this and Superman, I can't tell because to me they were both just like pretty good experiences in the movie theater. And I don't know which one I liked better. Oh, the other thing that was really weird a lot of people are giving the movie shit for Sue Storm pushing Galactus into the thing. I get how they really built Galactus up as like the fucking devourer of worlds. They built him up as Galactus should be built up, and he did get nerfed by like a mom, right? Like mom strength nerfed him. Yeah, okay, I got it. Although really Silver Surfer kind of finished him off, which is what is supposed to happen in these movies. But when she like died and she fell down, I could not stop looking at her. She looked bald laying on a wig. And I'm only saying this, I don't know if anybody else noticed it. Next time you watch it, you'll see it. I don't know what it was. I don't think she was wearing a wig in this movie, right? She's blonde, right? Vanessa Kirby?
I believe so, yeah.
Or at least she dyes it blonde. So she wasn't wearing a wig. So I don't know if it's just like the shape of her head and the angle they had the camera. She looked bald, and I couldn't stop staring at it the whole time in that whole death scene. Hey guys, there's spoilers in this movie. Don't listen to this if you don't want spoilers. But yeah, other than that, I thought the movie was like as good as any Marvel movie I've seen in several years. Am I jazzed for them interacting with the Thunderbolts? I don't know about that. This is kind of where I'm like, I wish the Thunderbolt stinger of the Fantastic Four ship showing up, like, you know what, just show me more stories on 818 or whatever this planet was. This doesn't make me thrilled to see them bleed into this Marvel universe. I want to see more about their universe. And something else Mr. Fixit said about the Mole Man, that bothered me too. Mole Man was kind of weird. I didn't get all that. Yeah. Like he was like taller than Reed, and I'm like, what? Like I don't know. But I guess like the alternative would have been like a CGI dude or something. And I don't know. I don't know what the answer was there, other than he was kind of a plot device to hide the people of New York. But that was strange. I thought that was weird too. That definitely, like, I was like, that was an interesting choice. Okay. Anyway, I'm done. Frank, you can talk. We're 20 minutes over when Mr. Fixit needs to log off here. I apologize for rambling.
I could have probably waited a weekend or two before seeing this one. I wanted to see it, but I wasn't like in a huge rush or anything. What drove it was Paquita wanted to see it. And she's like, are we seeing it? Are we seeing it? Are we seeing it over the weekend? Can we go Saturday? Can we go, that kind of thing. So I was like, what the hell is this? Well, there are a few factors. The number one factor is she likes Pedro Pascal and she wanted to see him play Reed. So, okay. Second thing, which is weird because she hasn't said jack shit about Last of Us season 2. I've totally been able to skate by without having anything to do with that.
Don't watch it.
I don't want anything to do with it.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Absolute dog shit television.
Right.
Horrible dog shit television show.
The other thing is the whole retrofuturism thing, the aesthetic, and I think probably the astronaut angle as well, because she loves astronaut stuff. We're going to have to go see Project Hail Mary 100%. She read the book, apparently. I had no idea what a fan she was until we saw the trailer, and she's like, oh my God, they spoiled so much of the book. God damn it. So she was the one wanting to see Fantastic Four way more than I wanted to. And she was happy with the movie. She definitely enjoyed it. She had a few nitpicks. In particular, she couldn't understand how Pedro Pascal could have been the father of a Franklin Richards that was that fucking blonde at the end of the goddamn movie. Just such a completely white baby. How did it come out of this guy? And I gotta say too, the one black person in this movie who's in a servile role, not great. Like if that's all you can do is find somebody to be the personal assistant to the Fantastic Four, maybe just don't have the black people in the movie if that's the one role you're gonna come up with them for. Leave that alone. But anyway, she thoroughly enjoyed the movie. It's not like her favorite movie or anything, but she was happy to see it. She was excited to see it. She was satisfied with the movie, and I was glad for that. I have my nostalgia for the Corman movie, and I will say that when I saw the Corman movie for the first time. It was the first time I ever really felt like I gave a shit about the Fantastic Four, despite having been exposed to them for pretty much my entire life. The cartoons were available to me. I had a power record with the story, the origin story of the Fantastic Four combined with their first meeting with the Mole Man. I think it was John Buscema drawn. So that's one of the reasons why I always wanted to see the Kaiju and the Mole Man on the screen. And we did get a little tiny bit of that in this movie, thankfully. And then I saw the Corman movie. That was the first time where I actually saw the potential of the group and thought about what kind of cool stories you could do with them and all that kind of good shit. So I'll always have a soft spot for that movie and a nostalgic feeling for that. And I do still like the Ninja Turtle thing. I still think that's maybe the most comic accurate thing, but obviously that doesn't look as good as the CGI in this movie. I think the Thing looked fantastic. I heard a few people bitching about the CGI. I thought he looked great. I especially like the eyes.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
They were complaining about that.
No, right? It's like, really? If they saw something, they saw something I missed, because I thought he looked great in the outfits. I loved his eyes in particular, those human eyes around all that rocky form. And again, he looks very much like the comic books. So I was really happy. And again, the voice is great. I was bitching because I really wanted Seth Rogen to be the voice of the Thing. I just thought that'd be fun. Plus, the one benefit of that is Seth Rogen does not sound anything like Mark Ruffalo. Right? Those are two completely different voices, even though they're both more or less the same region, but you would never confuse those two. I 100% was like, Jesus fucking Christ, when these two share a screen and the Hulk's supposed to be fun fighting the Thing, you're going to have trouble telling whose voice is whose, because they sound so goddamn much alike. And that's a bummer. But I think that the Ibn guy, whatever his name is, the guy from The Bear, I think he's much better doing that voice. And his voice sounds more like I would imagine the Thing sounding than Mark Ruffalo sounds like the Hulk. Sorry, but that's the case. I always am expecting Johnny Storm to be a little dickwad, and I'm never expecting to like him. And I'm not sure how much Joseph Quinn represents the character in the comic books. I think that probably he's more mature in the modern comic books, and that maybe it's reflecting Hickman or Ryan North or whatever. But I just like the guy. And I didn't watch that season of Stranger Things. I don't have any past history with Joseph Quinn. And I do think that they made him a little smarter than I can believe Johnny could ever be. But also he's supposed to be an astronaut, and I kind of get that too. He's so good as whatever character he's playing in this movie. I would like to see this character in other movies. So he did the job that he needed to do. He actually made me want to watch Johnny Storm do shit. So kudos for that. I could also believe him being the brother of Sue Storm, which is important because there's no goddamn way in hell that Chris Evans is in any way a blood relation to Sue Storm, to Jessica Alba. And of course, then you got the whole Michael B. Jordan and Kate Mara thing where they like literally like, no, she's the adopted one. Like we have no blood relationship. It's like, okay, I believe these two are siblings. I can buy that. They look enough alike. They act enough alike. They both have brains in their heads. Pascal was kind of a sticking point for me because most of the movie I'm still seeing Pedro Pascal. He's not really how I would imagine Reed Richards, again, because of a lot of things that you liked about it, because he's so anxious and so subdued and stuff. And I don't know, it didn't quite fit what I wanted to see from Reed. And so where Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm isn't really the comic book version of Johnny that I know, I like that guy better. With Pedro Pascal is like, I didn't like it better. I would like it have a more comic accurate version. So that's a little bit of a sticking point. But I was surprised going into this movie, especially some of our issues with the casting going into the movie, how these people, comported themselves. They're all actors. They all did a great job. They figured out how to find a way into these characters, and I accept them as these characters, right? But Vanessa Kirby is the standout. Like I like Sue Storm and Stu Richards, whatever name she's using. I like that character in the comics. I was around for when John Byrne was reconsidering that character and making her more than just the Invisible Woman and giving her the telekinetic powers or the pseudo, the invisible constructs, and like really upping her and making her potentially the most powerful member, which we see in this movie. Vanessa Kirby has these kind of odd elven features which work for that 60s setting, because a lot of the women in that time period, they were doing like the cat eye mascara and all that kind of bullshit, but it gives her such a unique look, and she has an extraordinary presence. Like, she's so commanding and her voice is just so perfect. So ultimately she just blows anybody away who's ever tried to play this character on the screen before. I think she's one of the, like, there aren't a lot of actors that have been in the Marvel stuff since the Marvel movies peaked and started their decline that had that kind of commanding presence that remind me of people like Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and Chris Evans as Steve Rogers. And she does. Like, she can stand her ground with those guys. She is such a perfect and such a unique version, because she's not who I would imagine Sue to be necessarily. But by the time she was done with that movie, it was such an extraordinary showcase, and she just was so powerful and had such presence that, like, am I a Sue Storm fan now? Like, I would never consider myself a Sue Storm fan from the comics, even with quality of work that's been done with her. But in the movie, it's like she steals the movie. Like she's absolutely the most important character in the movie, the most important actor in the movie, drives the movie, is the person who's most responsible for the resolution of everything. It all centers around her, and deservedly so. Who the fuck is Vanessa Kirby? Where the fuck did she come from? I understand that she was in one of the Mission Impossible movies and got some good notices from that. She's done a bunch of indie stuff, but this person comes out of nowhere. I don't know who the hell she is, and by the time she's done this movie, it's like, holy shit, that is a superhero. What an incredible job was done with that. And I also agree. I liked the Silver Surfer, the female Silver Surfer. I did not expect that. I was kind of irritated by that, but it highlights that this is an alternate Earth, and in this version, it's Shala Bal who becomes Silver Surfer. And it never even occurred to me they were going to say, "Oh yeah, it's Shala Bal," and it's like, "Oh shit, okay." It just made everything work. Any misgivings it could have had, it smoothed over, but it didn't really matter anyway because the character as performed throughout the movie did such a good job of being spooky and intimidating and powerful that I let it go of, why don't you look like, Lawrence Fishburne and Doug Jones from the shitty 2005, 2006 Silver Surfer Fantastic Four movie, right? So all these people did an incredible job. I love the aesthetics. I love the 60s vibe and everything. All that shit was good. It was definitely an entertaining movie. And unlike Superman, it has an actual story. It's not just a bunch of fucking episodes of shit happening over and over again. It's like it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it tells a complete story-ish. So I think it's a better movie than Superman, but I don't like it as much as Superman because it didn't entertain me as much. I did have some of the same problems I've had with these other Marvel movies where I really, really thought as little as they showed us in those trailers up until like the last minute when they started showing a bunch of shit and I didn't watch those trailers, I kept waiting for them to have a bunch of shit that they weren't showing us. I kept waiting for one of those Infinity War things where you think it's going to be this and there's a whole bunch of other shit that they didn't even show you. And that all is the montage. And that's part of the problem that I have is like, I'm enjoying the montage, but I'm literally up until they get into the faster than light ship and go to Galactus's vessel. Like that entire section of the movie felt like the montage never ended and it just kept going. And they were just like narrating the plot to me and doing this little shorthand thing with just some asides where they do the character work. And so for me, the movie doesn't really feel like it starts until they do the FTL jump. And then that's a great sequence. And then the back end, there's so much shit where it's like, where's the Mole Man shit that obviously got cut? I know that stuff exists, but basically they're never going to put the money into doing the CGI. The director's already said that there is no director's cut. They'll never spend the money to make those scenes full. So the movie you got is the movie you're going to get. And like, there's so much shit that was obviously cut out of this movie. John Malkovich as the Red Ghost and all the Mole Man stuff preceding him showing up to save, the citizens of New York and stuff. And there's just a lot of these gaps. Natasha Lyonne, like with all that they cut in this movie, what the fuck is she doing? That all that stuff, it's actually distracting because it's like, okay, so here she is and she's not Alicia Masters, she's not blind, so it's another way of saying, oh, this is obviously another universe. And like there are people who like really loved her in those sequences. I think that they're bringing some of their poker face baggage with them because there's just not enough of her in this movie to warrant her even being in the fucking movie. And been going to see her, it's kind of like creepy incel shit. And I understand that's kind of Ben's thing. He's a big Rocky monster. He doesn't think anybody could ever love him, but they spend so little time on that it's like, it's just a distraction. It's like that. There's 3 scenes they should have just cut right out. They need to cut the scene after he lifts the car and he never fucking talks to her and she's just not in the movie. It makes no fucking sense for her to be around. I also hated the beard because I thought that that's one of the things that I thought is when I saw one of the later trailers and he's got the beard, it's like, oh, okay, they're going to fuck up. They're going to fail. And there's going to be this long period of dissolution and trying to like get their mojo back and all this kind of shit. And it's like, no, it's just like we're saving on power. So you just have to grow a beard now. And it's like, did they need the variant action figure? What the fuck was that even doing there? It irritated me that they made such a big thing about this beard for no reason. And it's just like, it was a little boring to me. Like there's good shit in there, but there's also a lot of stuff that I was like, okay, moving along. There's not enough plot for the space that it takes up. So I like it fine. I enjoy it. I don't want to rip it apart. I definitely will say that of the Fantastic Four movies I've seen, it's obviously the best. There's no disputing that. I definitely appreciate the characters more for having watched this movie than I did before. So it's very successful in that regard. I don't think it like fully recaptures the Marvel mojo. It's just good for the period in which it's coming out. I think it's definitely better than a lot of that Phase 4 shit especially. But it's not like, oh, I'm a Fantastic Four guy and I want action figures and I can't wait for a sequel to this and shit. And there's definitely a sense of they're using this to kind of wrap up the first 15, 20 years of the MCU and start over again. We all know that, especially because Feige started dropping hints, Civil War is going to be a reboot. That's going to be the last hurrah for the original Marvel Universe, and they're going to start it over again. I think that Phase 4 especially feels like an action figure refresh that failed. It feels like Motu in 87. It feels like the G.I. Joe refresh, where it's like, oh, all of a sudden sudden we're going to set aside, the characters you love. You're going to have to start to learn to love Jinx or whatever bullshit Motu guys came out, Master of the Universe guys came out. And I think it was a failed refresh, but also I think, like I said earlier, that you had that perfect moment where you're capturing multiple generations of Marvel fans. And I think that moment is past. And I think you're chasing the dragon now. I don't think we're going to see a superhero universe catch fire the way Marvel did ever again, because they proved you could do it. They were very successful for a while. The fatigue set in. And I just don't think you're going to be able to replicate that. But I think that they're going to try by, doing what DC's doing right now. It's like, okay, we're going to end it here and then we're going to start over again. And then hopefully a new generation will be able to start fresh with these characters. So there is a sort of futility to this. I don't think all these guys are going to carry over into the new universe, if any of the guys carry over into the universe. And obviously Franklin Richards is going to be the guy who reboots everything. It's going to be Heroes Reborn or Heroes Return all over again. It's just like, okay, you've got your reset tool right there. I was talking with Odell earlier today. He was like, oh shit, it hit me. Franklin Richards is going to reset everything. You were right. They're going to do a reset. It's like, yeah, they're going to do a reset, obviously. So, the reset that walks as a boy is coming. And then this whole movie was created basically to set up Franklin being the key to bringing back the Marvel Universe once everything gets blown to bits in Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Yeah, but I think saying that this movie has any part of chasing the dragon is kind of, I don't think that's fair.
Well, they were always going to need to do a Fantastic Four movie. We've been asking for this. If you're going to have a Marvel Cinematic Universe, you have to have a Fantastic Four movie. They gave us the one that we all wanted. A lot of people are very happy about that. I just don't know that this goes anywhere beyond the 2 Avengers sequels, and then we're starting all over again.
Yeah, to me, chasing the dragon would have had somebody with like a hot flash vision as they're in light speed of like Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth.
And I'm not
There's
saying
another multiverse. Like he hinted at knowing multiverses. They didn't go into any of that shit, dude. They didn't do any of it. We got the Doctor Doom stinger. Like, to me, this is the opposite of chasing the dragon. This is why I was saying it's like you didn't dip your toe in. You dipped your toe in Thunderbolts, but you didn't dip your toe in this movie. So like, can we get like another one of these movies where we just do Fantastic Four and we don't have to do a bunch of bullshit? I guess even if it's Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, let's just do that and then leave the stinger in that one. We go to this fucking Doomsday shit. I know that's something they're gonna do, but this movie was so, what I want them to do is you're kind of just forgetting like this guy knows this guy. It's everything is 7 shades of Kevin Bacon or whatever. Like Yelena was related to ScarJo, and we got the bootleg Captain America, and Anthony Mackie was in the Avengers for a minute. To me, that's all chasing the dragon shit.
Yeah, that's the action figure refresh. That's the line refresh.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I agree with you on that.
This is the Fantastic Four movie we didn't think they could make because they would have had to have found a way to tie it into the Sokovia Accords. You know what I mean? Like Reed wasn't he wasn't the underwriter of the Sokovia Accords, and a building fell on his first wife and blinded Alicia Masterson. You know what I mean? Like that's that old shit. This had none of that. And it was just a really good comic book movie that I thought was pretty damn faithful to all of the source material down to the costumes. And this is like weirdly exactly what I think the Marvel Universe needed. It ain't gonna make $1 billion. So forget all that shit. It ain't gonna make $1 billion. That ain't it. But I don't know. I thought it was good. I agree with you. I thought Vanessa Kirby was fantastic. I don't know who the hell she is other than she was apparently in Hobbs and Shaw. But like how you follow up Hobbs and Shaw with this movie, I don't know how you do that. She was great. Like I wish we would just get 3 Fantastic Four movies. Like, you know what I mean? That's what sucks about it. But no, I'm with you. This was not Iron Man. I know Mr. Fix said this kind of felt like Iron Man 1. I could see kind of where he's saying that. This movie is not, it ain't Iron Man 1. I've seen a lot of reviewers who are saying like this is the new standard for Marvel comic book movies. I think that's dumb. Shut up. There's none of that in this movie. But as its own movie, I thought it was really good. And but again, the fact that I'm debating whether or not I liked it better than Superman or not tells me that I didn't think that it was like, it didn't blow my mind. But I thought it was a good movie. I agree with you. It was a good movie. Again, another movie I kind of had slightly lowered expectations for. And I thought it worked. So I think it shows that Marvel can still make good movies. And I think the budget ended up not being that large for this movie. I think it was like around 200 or something. So these movies are still profitable. They still make a lot of money. Well, you know what I mean? Where some of these like Endgame and some of the movies after that, where they were like $300 million movies, and we're like, where did they spend the money? Endgame, I get it, but some of the movies that followed it had these massive budgets, and you're like, where's the money? Like, why did it cost so much? Is it the actors or what? But they got some pretty big, Pedro Pascal probably demanded a decent paycheck for this movie. So like, now maybe the Ozark chick that played Silver Surfer didn't, and maybe Vanessa Kirby didn't because she was riding high on that Hobbs and Shaw money.
Even Pedro, I think that there's got to be a little bit of a discount there because that dude works so much. They can't pay him like ScarJo money or anything like that. So I'm sure got paid more than the other people because they're all TV people, really. Like Pedro, he had the Materialist movies earlier this year.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, but he's still a TV dude. So I'm sure he was getting a slight upgrade on TV kind of money for the movies. He's not paying that kind of money because they otherwise the budget would have reflected that, I think.
This contract got signed before he was Pedro Pascal. So you're right. This would have been around the time of Last of Us season 1 and Mandalorian making him super hot. Not the dude who goes viral no matter what he does. They're doing lookalike contests and shit. Right. That's all after this movie got shot.
Well, so he's another guy like Ruffalo too, where he's going to keep showing up. Or Sam Jackson. They're going to keep showing up. As they want to do this. They like the visibility. The paychecks are good enough. You know that you've got this guy for as long as you want.
Well, you know what? I don't know if I agree with that because it sounded like he was pretty much fed up with the Star Wars shit really fast.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It sounded like he was kind of not, especially because like the Mandalorian, he's got to wear a helmet all the time, and he's not allowed to take it off. And he's like, "So I'm doing a voiceover? Like that's what I'm doing." So I mean, that might lean into why he was kind of over that shit. But this one he is more forward facing. Like you said, it's not a TV show, so maybe he's about it.
Well, and also that's part of why Marvel likes these TV people because they're used to having to deal with TV schedules. When you get movie people that they're put on a TV working environment with these Marvel movies, they don't like that shit. These movie stars do not want to work as hard as you have to work to make a Marvel movie. But the TV stars, it's probably like kind of a relaxing by comparison to what you do, and you have much more resources. I'm sure the craft service is way better on the Marvel movies. So for them, they're leveling up where with like a proper movie star, they're leveling down.
Oh, and the other thing, Ben's beard. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Like what was the point of the beard?
Didn't look great either.
Except that I do like that he shaves with an ankle grinder. That was super cool.
I don't need him to shave because I mean, for number one, if we're dealing with hair, then we have to deal with the other hair. I don't want to think about that. I don't need that in life. I don't need to go to Kevin Smith places with this shit.
I want a Manscaped ad on the next Fantastic Four movie. 100%. It's a Makita Manscaper or something that's got industrial strength. Anyway, I did like the grinder, and then when he just grew the whole beard out, I didn't like that. I did like the whole world coming together because like that's obviously it's not 616.
Right.
It's a much more like peaceful planet.
Yeah, very
right. And they were like, we all got to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, and we're gonna get this done. Like that very World War II roll your sleeves up shit, and like the whole world did it. Like how refreshing is that shit for these?
Or Reed not lying about what happened on Galactus' ship, like anybody would have. Yeah.
And the fact that like they started like banging on the doors, telling them like you should have just sacrificed your baby for all of us. Like I don't know, I didn't really expect them to like go that far because that's like children stuff. That's like a weird. Like obviously they didn't sacrifice the baby, but like even having the topic loom over these wholesome characters is like a thing. And I was like, that's a layer I didn't expect to get from any of these movies. Like I didn't get that in Superman. There were no stakes like that in Superman, right? So I don't know, dude. I freaking like the movie. I didn't think I was gonna like it all much. And I'll say, okay, so here's my kids' rankings. The kids loved Superman. They saw it in 3D, loved the shit out of it, except where he went back to Kansas, and they were sort of like, yeah, nothing happens this whole part of the movie. They didn't like that part. And then at the end where they kissed.
Are you sure that was Kansas? I'm pretty sure that was Louisiana Bayou from them.
Yeah. Her accent was wildly not Kansas. She wasn't talking about roofs. She was talking about crawfish. So that was weird. But they loved Fantastic Four, and they ranked Fantastic Four higher. And it did to me have kind of a little bit of a slower pace. They liked Fantastic Four wall to wall better than Superman. So I don't know. There's something to that too. And they're kids with like horrible attention spans. I don't know, man. I think they thought Galactus was way cooler than anything in Superman, which I mean, Galactus is cool as shit. They didn't seem to be bothered by a female surfer, but they're also like 9 or whatever. So whatever. So I don't know. It was a good weekend to watch movies.
Our social media has been dingleberry since X decided to fuck itself in the ass. But also, I fucked up the social media this week. I did a weird staggering thing. I was sick midweek. I just didn't have the oomph for it. So probably going to be underrepresented. Probably just going to scoop up the responses to the last 2 episodes for whatever comes out for the next episode. In the meantime, we've been picking up YouTube followers. So I want to give a few shout outs there. Permanent Marvelite Maximus followers, Aaron the Shadow, ABC Clem, or KLM, Blake Mitchell, Francisco, Mora, Fausto, and Life Meets Inspiration. Keepers of the Favors Flame include GNR JB395, Alan Mejia Estrada, Alex O, The Irritable Shag, Jarrett Keene, JMT Productions, Lear LRE, The Phantom, Richard Field, and Tunaz. In terms of retweet frantic ones, Between the Pages blog, David A. Quinley 2, Flanger, aka Hicks, and Relatively Geeky Podcast Network. And finally, the Merry Marvel Marching Society, Ed Moore at Teal Productions, The Hammer Strikes, Random Geeky Stuff, History of Comics on Film, Julia Raoul, Keith G. Baker, Nick Spence, and Superbound.
The Marvel Superheroes Podcast is in no way affiliated or endorsed by Marvel Entertainment. All characters mentioned and audio clips employed are believed covered under fair use, but remain copyright their respective copyright holders. But of course, the views expressed are wholly owned by the people who spoke them. No infringement is intended.
They also saw the Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World, whatever the new one is with ScarJo. I refused to go. I was like, you are not going to, do not spend money on me to see these movies. I cannot, you can make this a stinger to this episode. I hate all of the Jurassic World movies. We talked about the first Jurassic World movie when it came out, how I thought it was like offensively bad, even though it's got like an 80% Rotten Tomato score. It made a shit ton of money. And I think Bryce Dallas Howard is hot as shit. I fucking hated that movie. It was like sadistic and gross. And then but if you like the action figure smash 'em up Jurassic Park, you want to watch dinosaurs fight like action figures, and you're into that, that's cool. What I realized is that what I liked about Jurassic Park 1 was that it's like kind of plausible, right? Like they don't make like these weird hybrid dinosaurs and all sorts of shit like all these other movies do. It's literally like they're using modern cloning techniques, and it's exploited by capitalism, and of course it gets fucked up and people die. Like a lot of people die in that movie, but they don't do anything crazy. There's no crazy stuff. So it's more like a sci-fi movie. The new ones are kaiju. The dinosaurs are kaiju, and they're talking to them telepathically, and all sorts of stupid, weird shit. And they like quadruple down on the kid. And everyone has a tech billionaire who gets killed, and everyone has the same scientist that's just modifying shit for money, and they're sneaking the DNA. Like the tropes get to be like wild in these movies.
You're talking about it being like Fast and Furious with Raptors having car chases and stuff.
Yeah. So the last one, they're literally in Monaco, and they're driving like cars or Morocco. I don't know where they were that. Shit. No, it wasn't Morocco. It was somewhere else. And yeah, they're being chased by raptors through the streets, and like a Jerry Bruckheimer, like golden hour. Like it's a fucking fantastic. It's a fucking Fast and Furious movie. So they were rewatching them all. So I kind of like was catching bits and pieces of these movies, and they're fucking horrible, dude. Every one of these, dude. Chris Pratt is like, I don't know why he's in these movies. He's like a bigger dope than Star-Lord in them. He's like completely. I thought he was like the star of these movies. He's not like at all. He's barely in the last like two of them. It's insane how little he's in these movies. They're all fucking horrible. And again, it's the same trope over and over again. It's a new hybrid dinosaur. The T-Rex shows up at the very end to save them, and it shows up exactly the way it showed up, saving them from the raptors in the very first Jurassic Park movie. Like it's awful, dude. They're so fucking bad. So I didn't see this one either, and from what I understand, it fucking sucked too. Oh, and like the last Chris Pratt one, Dominion or whatever, dude, apparently the budget was ridiculous for that movie. It is some of the worst CGI I've ever seen, which again, the original Jurassic Park holds up so well with its CGI and practical effects. Dude, it's like comically bad. It's like HBO Max bad CGI, like House of the Dragon bad by the time you get to the last movie, and the budget's like over 300 million. Like it's insane, dude. And I'm like, where is the money in these fucking movies?
Well, I mean, don't they make those like practically every other year or some shit? I think it's speed money, not quality money.
Yeah, so this new one with ScarJo is like the fifth, I think, of these Jurassic World movies, and they're, from what I understand, it was fucking horrible too. But even the kids, even with smash 'em up dinosaurs, it ranked way last behind Superman and Fantastic Four. So I think that's a benefit for those. Like they're kids smashing up dinosaurs, they should be all about it. And they were like, yeah, it was okay, but Fantastic Four and Superman were better. So way to go, comic book movies. Anyway, that's all I got, dude.
No worries, that works for me.
That's a long ass podcast, brother.
It's not as bad as you think. It's just a little over 2 hours, 2:12 from the looks.
Okay, that's not bad.